Hi there, it's Kate. Welcome back to my channel for what is probably going to be a quick Friday reads. I did not do a ton of reading this week. We are still in housing limbo, and we will be for another, it's changing all the time, but we will still be kind of in a weird housing place for at least a couple more weeks. And to make things even more exciting, this week my husband is actually out of town here, but back in town. Like, he's back at our old house, packing up the house, all of our household goods with the movers right now. So I am solo parenting, which is even more tricky than double parenting in a new environment. So my brain power has mostly gone towards that and not towards reading. But I did finish 2 books this week. And yeah, that was like a while ago, several days ago I finished books, and I just cannot get into anything else. I've been, since my husband's been gone, I've been watching Netflix at night instead of reading. I just don't have the brain power to devote towards books right now. We'll see if that changes as, he comes back or after we close. There's a lot of kind of possibilities, but let's talk about what I did read. So I don't have a copy of it anymore on my Kindle, but I did finish How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. And last week when I talked about it, I was pretty lukewarm, but after finishing it, I really enjoyed it. So this is a story about a man who was born in the late 1500s, I believe, and when he hit about puberty, he basically stopped aging like everyone else does and just started aging very, very, very slowly. So the book's contemporary timeline is told today, and he's obviously 600 or 700 years old. And then as he's going along, he flashes back to various points in time in his own life, in his own timeline, and different lives basically that he has lived. And so the whole book is a meditation on what makes life worth living, and that's kind of what the title refers to. How to stop time is how to be in the moment and enjoy living the life that you're living, and not in a hedonistic way, but in an appreciative way. And while the book was definitely melancholy, particularly in the beginning, I also think that it was very subtle in its kind of what could have been very pretentious platitudes about life. It didn't feel like, so there's this man, and he's making these observations about the human condition, which can go one of two ways, right? It can either be great or it can be really pretentious. And in this book, I really felt like there was this man, and yes, he was sort of generalizing about the human condition in general, but he was also just making commentary on his own life. And if it happened to be more broadly applicable, then fantastic. But it was more just like, here's what I'm feeling in this moment. And you can tell that Haig himself has had some of these really deep and melancholy thoughts of his own. So anyways, this is kind of a longer review of this book than I'd anticipated doing, but I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the interplay between today's pop culture and pop cultures of the past. The caveat is that these are not time periods that I've studied, but it seemed well researched, and kind of the daily microhistory of the time seemed well portrayed. So it's a book that I would recommend, I think, generally speaking, but I could also see that you may have to be in the right state of mind to read it in the first place. So let me know if you've read that and if you want to talk about it, because I would love to talk with someone about that book, How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. The other book that I finished was a cozy mystery. This is just the title page on my Kindle, Stitch Me Deadly by Amanda Lee. This is the second book in a cozy mystery series that I started several months ago, and it was okay. This is this is a cozy mystery series that is centered around an embroidery shop, which is a fun premise, and that's primarily why I like the books. I don't know if I'll continue. This had significant plot holes that I noticed, and also I guess the killer early on. And when I read cozy mysteries, I am able to like shut off the analytical part of my brain and just suspend disbelief typically. And I don't usually try to guess the killer. I don't try to analyze the plot. But if even I notice these things, I feel like there's some serious issues. It was enjoyable. It wasn't terrible, but like I said, I don't know if I'll continue it. And then the other book that I have been reading, this finally got here to me. This is Live and Let Pie by Ellie Alexander. This is the latest installment in the Bake Shop Mysteries series, which you've heard me talk about on this channel 1,000 times before. This I had pre-ordered and then it got stuck in mail purgatory, so it finally got here yesterday, and it is a sign of how, like, the difficulties that I've been having concentrating, that I just cannot get into this book. And I don't think it has anything to do with this book being any different than the other books in the series, and instead it's really just that my brain cannot focus on anything right now. So I don't know that I'll be doing a lot of reading this weekend. I'm probably going to be spending some more quality time with Netflix, so let me know if you have any Netflix suggestions. That would be great. Other than that, let me know what you've been reading, and if you have any good suggestions for something that would engage my brain just enough to kind of get me out of the headspace that I'm in, but also not be too taxing, because I have other things that I need to use my brain on these days. So let me know if you have any suggestions, and I will talk to you again next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye, guys.